we should be up on stream here.
Alright, how's everyone doing? And has the seed been fully decided yet?
Let me do one final refresh here, and we will find out.
I'm looking forward to it.
Alright, we did get some more donations. We have a donation of 502 from Shaddix, and he says, jankiest flash game, BJW Suku. With that donation, we have a new leader for the seed name, and the seed name is jankiest flash game.
Oh baby.
It wins by 2 cents. And we also have a $25 donation from Redshifter. SMB3 giveth and SMB3 taketh away, but Pantsu will never leave you. Thanks, Redshifter, for the donation. So I will spell out the seed name for you there in the Discord.
Oh, no spaces. Alright.
And I guess just let me know when you're ready to go.
The numerical value that seed comes out to, by the way, starts with 420.
Excellent.
So I think this is a great seed.
It doesn't get any better.
Hey, I am ready when you are. Just give me a countdown.
I will count you down. Here we go. It is going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. So this is Super Meat Boy Randomizer. And what the randomizer does is, it gives me a random level set. It pulls from most of the levels in the game. It doesn't pull from the boss levels, and it doesn't pull from some of the warp zones. Some of the warp zones are character warp zones where you have a different character with like alternate abilities or something. Meat Boy can't complete all of those, so beginning levels of the game, they have these little tutorial pop-ups, and depending on the level that you roll, that can be really, really frustrating to work with. It's all part of the fun, though. Alright, we're done with those. Should be fairly smooth sailing from here on out. We do only have to play 17 levels per chapter, so some of the really long ones I'm just going to be skipping immediately. Like that level, not very visually interesting, takes like 30 seconds. Not much point playing it. Reacting to levels that you get is honestly one of the hardest things about this challenge. Because some of the levels like depend on the solar cycle, making the cycle, and if you don't know what level's coming up, which I have no idea, I've never seen anything like this before. If you don't know what cycle's coming up, then it's really, really hard to not die. Or at least not take a really slow strat. The warp zone levels have their own problems because sometimes they depend on a strat that has a different spawn time. Like the character that you play in a warp zone is not actually technically Meat Boy, it's like usually like some sort of 8-bit or 16-bit Meat Boy. And they have a different spawn animation, which means different spawn times. Regular Meat Boy, by contrast, has a longer spawn time, so some of the cycles that I typically would depend on for a 106% run are not available to me. You haven't seen a level like that yet, but we have seen some warp zone levels. I'll point it out if it comes up. So, it does randomize most of the levels in the game, but it doesn't randomize the bosses. Like the bosses, they have some special code in them. I'm pretty sure the game would crash if we like tried to put them in the regular level set. Like you can already tell the warp zone levels, they don't quite work right. Visually, they don't quite work right. If you look at Bandage Girl right there, her sprite was off. Some of the levels have like really eerie floating Bandage Girls in the background. It's pretty nuts. So what level is this? I haven't been keeping track. This should be close to the end. Oh yeah, I think I played one extra level. Yeah, we did. Cool. So we don't do anything with the boss levels. The randomizer is honestly kind of new, and we haven't really decided what we want to do with them yet, since there's not many of them. Like, we could probably swap the order around, but kind of like, what's the point? There's only 6 of them, so...
You find that the randomizer is good for practice just because you have to be good at every stage. You don't know what's coming next.
Oh yeah, definitely. It would be a great way, I think, to get into like casual dark ending or 106.
We did get another donation, by the way, $20 from Brass Wolf. He says, good luck to all the runners. Get RDD to AGDQ. Here's towards the link to the past 100%. Save the animals.
Getting a lot of warp zone levels this time. Pretty good seed. So since we got some free time, let me talk about some of the tech used in this game. The most obvious piece of tech is what's called the auto jump, or pause buffer depending on who you talk to. Basically what we do is we can trick the game into thinking that we're both pressing jump and not pressing jump at the same time. You do this by hitting pause while holding jump, then letting go of jump. Shouldn't have exited there, that was bad menu had from 90%. Yeah, we hit pause while holding jump, we'll let go of pause and then we unpause. And the game's gonna think that we're both pressing and not pressing the button at the same time. So what's gonna happen is, it's gonna think, okay, the dude is pressing jump the string. This level's really long. And I don't know how to play it with me, boy. This level... yeah, I'll play it. It's not the dark version. But it's going to look at what you're doing and think, okay, he's pressing jump this frame, but he didn't have jump pressed last frame, because both of those things are true. So it's going to act like you press jump for the first time on every single frame. Like most autofire, if you like plug a turbo controller in or whatever. Hey, game just crashed. Awesome.
Oh, that marathon luck.
It's a good randomizer. Dude, this seed is... the seed is pretty strong. Alright.
So what happens now? Is it won't let you continue?
It auto-saves after every level, so I just have to, like, reapply the randomizer. I left it open, so the seed was still in there. Like, it's annoying, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, this is one of those levels that varies a lot depending on your spawn time. Like, you do a completely different...
oh, good.
You do a completely different strat for that level in 106.
I just like that the seed is living up to its name.
Yeah, I would be disappointed if we didn't get a crash with that seed name, honestly. Like, this really is the jankiest Flash game of all time. It's an amazing speedrun, a really fun game, but it's got some freaking issues.
We did get another donation actually here too. $50 from Lovable Lamb Chop, and the comment is, challenge the ruins by getting the good Metal Gear Solid 2 ending. Thank you for that donation, and I believe that actually meets the incentive for that. Yeah, that's met already. Thanks everybody for the donations.
Yeah, let me just talk about how broken this game is since it's coming out. This game, yeah, absolutely requires running at 60 FPS to work properly. So if you have a, like, monitor that runs at a higher frame rate, you're kind of out of luck there. You gotta limit it to 60 no matter what. 60.3 will not do it. That will make some levels uncompletable. Like, if you run at unlocked frame rate, everything moves at hyperspeed and the game is literally unbeatable. Because, like, the final boss is actually just a replay of someone going through the level. Like, it's the same fundamental tech as, like, the replays of the Meat Boys that you'll see at the end of a level, right? It's the same thing. So, if the FPS is too high, he'll reach the end and then his, like, replay file will end, and he won't be able to die. The physics also depend on the frame rate, so if your frame rate's too different, like, you'll start flipping into ground randomly or stuff like that. There's other elements like the enemies will move faster, the lasers in hell. Those will, like, track you much more aggressively. It's really insane. So what's becoming common lately is we're just using a frame rate limiter program to get a more consistent frame rate. So we have to run alternate programs alongside the game. They don't alter the game code itself, but jankiest Flash game of all time. There's other things too that more directly affect your run. There's a lot of commands that work on keyboard but don't have a analog on the controller. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you watch me when I beat a level, I only have to press a button once. Typically, you would have to press a button twice because, like, first you would get past the end level screen and then you'd see a, like, replay screen of all your deaths as you beat the level. You don't have to watch that because if you press the A key on your keyboard, you'll just move to the next level automatically. So that saves one button press per level, which is more time than it sounds. There's also, like, similar commands for exiting out to the map and replaying the level. More importantly for the run as well, the game tracks keyboard and controller inputs separately. So there's, like, the game has it thinks differently about the keyboard jump button and controller jump button. So you've got two jumps. And if you have both of them mapped at the same time, you can, like, cancel one into the other and jump a little bit faster. So I'm actually running with two jump buttons mapped to my controller right now. I've got the regular one, and then I have space using the joystick key. And sometimes I'm alternating between those to get a little bit extra height, since I don't have to take my finger off jump at any point. Basically, this game is really stupid. It's amazing, though. You should totally play it. A little bit about what levels I'm choosing to skip. Like, you got levels like this, they look kind of long, but there's some levels in this game that are like 20 to 30 seconds, right? And if you skip a bunch of levels early, then if you get to some really bad levels later on in the chapter, you're going to be out of luck, right? Because you're going to either have to go back and replay those or play the longer ones. So, early in the chapter, like, this is about medium length right now, I'm still not skipping as many levels as I could choose to, because I want to save some skips just in case I get steamrolled at the end by a bunch of levels I really don't want to play. Like, if it was more towards the end of the chapter, I probably would have skipped that longish auto-scroller you saw a couple stages ago. Well, okay, let's be honest. I'm not counting too well, so I probably wouldn't have skipped anything, but... Okay, what level is this? Okay, that was 16. We got one more level after this.
By the way, I didn't point this out when we got there, but we are actually past the 20% mark as far as money raised is concerned.
Nice. That's
So
really
we are
awesome.
over $400 at this point. Thanks to everybody who's already been donating. Let's keep that momentum going.
This is over, what, the course of less than 2 hours? That's amazing pace.
That is really good, yes.
The music that's playing right now does not match up to these levels. I'm going to do a pretty obscure trick right here. If you wall jump quite right, you can carry more momentum over a jump than you're supposed to. And that will let you make that jump up to bandage goal. Typically that level is supposed to be like 20-25 seconds in Lead Boy. But if you do it right, you can turn it into an 8-second level. Like, actually commentating this game is pretty hard because you're talking about a level and then it's gone. Like, most of the levels are so short. That's not it. Whatever, I'll just do this. So this game is definitely pretty noisy on keyboard, or controller. I'm playing on controller right now, but most people think I'm on keyboard at first because of how loud the button presses are. Like what's happening is I'm playing on a PS3 pad and you have to like keep releasing and pressing sprint again, and sprint is on the shoulder button. And if you've ever played a PS3 game, or on a PS3, you know that they have some pretty whack shoulder buttons, right? The little analog thing. It makes a lot of noise.
Oh yeah. And it's like not even a button really. It feels like half of a button that's gonna fall off every time you press it.
I know. Basically what I'm doing most of the time is I'm trying to keep closer to a wall. Like, the velocity you have when you wall jump is dependent on whether, like when you wall jump, it's dependent on whether or not you have run pressed. So if you don't, then you don't fly as far away from the wall when you hit jump. And then you can press it again to like keep your acceleration as you move back to the wall so you can wall jump faster. And combining that with like the other tech, like the dual jump inputs, is really, like, you have to kind of reprogram your brain there. It's really tricky. I still don't do it that well myself. So this is the boss of hell. At the end of this boss is going to be a cutscene. And the cutscene involves this white flash. But we're going to cancel the cutscene. But the cutscene doesn't fully cancel, so the white flash is still going to be there. Which means that at the beginning of whatever the first level is in the next chapter, we're going to be blind for like a second or two. And that will probably end up that would probably end up killing me somehow. Not much I can do about it. In any percent or like some other category, we know what level we're going to play, so we know basically what general inputs to put in. In randomizer, I got no clue. Let's find out. Oh, this barely worked out. Alright, that was really good actually. through this. Nice, I made the cycle. Like, so much of this game is based around, like, really tricky strats to make a cycle that doesn't otherwise look reasonable. Like, this game is definitely really cycle-based, even compared to a lot of other 2D platformers. It feels really good when you get it, though. Boom. Now this level's like 35 seconds. Hiding behind the block here so the thing doesn't see me. So the boss of this chapter is known as Larry. And Larry's kind of a dick. He's the single biggest source of energy in the game for most categories. For 106 there's a worse source, but Larry can basically take as long as he wants. Basically he's like the set of three worms and they have to all jump into saws. There's only one move they have where they actually jump. They have about a quarter chance of doing it. It depends slightly on the cycle. Those stages are extremely long too. Wait, I got 3 more. But only one of them can be jumping at a time as well, so you have to roll a 1/4 chance 3 times. And that typically is reasonable, but sometimes you just get completely screwed. Like, let's see what he does. The best you can get is a 3 cycle. 5 to 6 to 7 is average luck. Alright, we got 2 down. 1 more to go. Yeah, he has a 1/2 chance to do like his stand up and roar. And just sit there and look mean at you. It's a 1/4 chance for his like underground charging attack that can't reach us because we're safe out here, for the most part. And then a 1/4 chance for the jump. So this is definitely worse than average. But it's not terrible yet. Like for any percent, this is basically the only source of energy that matters. There's a couple others, but they only cost like 1 to 2 seconds each and they're manageable or manipulable. There's not really much we can do about that guy. He's seated based on the frame that you enter the stage, so not really much you can do about that. Anyways, we're also going to get the white flash on this stage as well. I have no idea. Okay. Just gotta sit there and hope I don't die. Get those guys out of the way. We're home free. Anyways, the end is the final chapter. Ooh, dude, we got an actual end stage in the end. I approve. Here we have to play all 5 stages. We can't skip any of them. Taking the safe. Because it's a marathon. Nice. That's exactly what I want. Oh, that's unfortunate. No big deal though. Alright, final boss. The final boss is the thing that I was talking about where it depends on your FPS. If I was playing at... If I unlock my FPS completely, it plays at like something like 1100 FPS. He would already be near the end of the stage. So obviously y'all run at 60. There is a category where you can unlock your FPS as you need to, but 1100 is still actually impossible to complete the game, so if I were to run that, I would be running at 200, and it would be a really weird broken category that would finish the game in 3 minutes. Also completely unfun to play. That would be like the major glitches category. Yeah, this stage is not a scroller. He'll come over here, and while we're standing on this button, we have invincibility from the saws. He's going to walk off, die. It should be about 20 seconds to time.
I don't know what happened, but the stream crashed. I think you randomized so hard. It's the jankiest Flash game. The stream is just destroyed.
Fuck me, dude.
Oh my goodness. What an appropriate end to this run.
That totally is.
I had a final time for Vorpal of 24:23.
Dude, sub-estimate. Awesome. I didn't figure how I made that estimate, so that's actually pretty good.
I'm not even kidding. You jumped so hard it broke the stream. Like you're in the middle of the leap of faith that you're just frozen on screen.
In leap of faith. That's amazing.
Awesome.
I actually just cut screen and what did I totally cheated? Just that I finished it. That's how it played out.
Nice. Well, I think you're good to go. We'll set up for the next run, and thank you for showing us Randomizer. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun today.
All right, we'll see you later, Vorpal. Coming up next, we'll have Engie in the call. All right, everybody, give me 1 minute to set up for the next game. We'll keep this party going.